the caterer, book the DJ, and put down a deposit on the venue. Twoe is coming at you with another edition of Pantheon. Our tournaments to crown inaugural champions begin tonight with more action than you can shake a stick at, which our statisticians tell me is a very large amount of action. The kind of action you can expect every week from Twoe. I'm Deuce Silverado, and with me is Carl Featherbottom. Carl, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling very, very full. I had 7 lobsters today. I love Boston.
Let's hear from Danny Storms with the match forecast.
Good evening and welcome to Titans Wrestling Online. My name is Danny Storms, your resident meteorologist and match forecaster, here with a preview of tonight's action. And for that, let's head over to the Grappler Radar. As you can see here, tonight's match forecast is starting in the men's division, where we have round 1 men's championship tournament action. For that, we have 3 bouts, each featuring 4 wrestlers trying to be the one who comes out on top. Who will be that one? Well, I have a 36.3% chance that Uncle Kenny wins his group, a 51.6% chance that Alex Ryan Isaac wins his group, and an additional 47.3% chance that Amnezia Zteve comes out on top of his group. Amnezia Zteve may not remember who he is, but he sure does remember how to wrestle. Now let's look at the women's division. In the women's division, we also have round 1 of our championship tournament action. We have 2 bouts. In the first, I see Tuber coming out on top of the killer Queef with an 85.9% edge. It would seem that some of the most potent of killer Queef's weapons are ineffective against the vegetable. In our second match, Dr. Gene Mutation I see coming out over Hildegard von Bangin with a 60.3% edge. Scientist v. Scientist, modern science is probably going to win over medieval science. There is, of course, one extra match on tonight's card that is not part of the tournament action, where I myself will be taking to the field, aka the ring, to investigate an anomaly I'm seeing with the Scooby Do-Gooder. See, whenever I place the Scooby Do-Gooder into any of my models, I come out with a 100% chance that he will emerge victorious. Now, a 100% chance defies science, it defies logic. That is simply not possible. So there must be something about the Scooby Do-Gooder that I'm missing, some weakness, some flaw that is not properly incorporated into my models. So like any good scientist, I must go into the field to do field work and meet the Scooby Do-Gooder in the ring. I look forward to that being a very educational experience for myself, as well as you, the Titans Wrestling Online viewers. Either way, tonight's action is guaranteed to be rowdy with a chance of pain. Back to you, Deuce.
We're kicking off the action tonight with Funtimestein, Alex Ryan Isaac, the ultimate manager, and Dr. Michael Romano, cardiologist, as we kick off our tournament to crown a champion here at Twoe. What do you think?
Deuce, I don't know about you, but I am strapping myself down to my chair because I am too excited, and if I get up, I will be far away from the microphone.
Carl, I see that you have literally strapped yourself to that chair. It's got wheels on it. If I kicked it down the stairs now, it would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be, but it would also probably result in me getting fired for missing the match, and I don't want to miss the match, and I don't want to get fired.
Now, employment is important, but you know what else is important? Those sweet, sweet likes, and that's what Alex Ryan Isaac is all about.
Absolutely, and he is getting those likes. We've been hearing that his Q rating has gone up since last week's Royal Rumble, so his plan to get into this league and get more followers is working.
He's getting a brand new selfie right from the middle of the ring that will look completely different from any other selfie he's taken from that corner.
That's absolutely right, because tonight we're in Boston.
Ah, Boston, the place where we are.
That's right. Oh, ooh. Yeah, look at all those colors. Designed for followers.
His design draws the eye, but you know who draws the heart? Dr. Michael Romano, cardiologist.
Yeah, he actually does draw hearts. I've heard, draws some pretty beautiful hearts in his spare time.
He's got a little bit of blood on the old jacket there. Not sure what that is. I don't ask questions about what happens in a cardiologist's office. I haven't been for a while. Don't tell the doctor.
I won't, and I also won't tell him to watch tonight's match on the replay.
We'll fix it. We'll edit that out in post. Someone make a note to edit out that in post, or at least Dr. Michael Romano's copy of the post.
Deuce, I absolutely would write that down, but again, I am strapped to my chair.
That pen is just barely out of your reach. I could nudge it over to you, but I will not.
Yeah, it's okay. My thumb is strapped down anyway, and without it, I'm good for nothing.
That's not true. You're good for telling me all about the amazing Funtimestein.
Absolutely, the amazing Funtimestein. Delight for fans, grown-ups and children alike, for sure. Look at him shuffling in. Look at him.
He's like a little locomotive, the little engine that could make it to the ring.
Yeah, you know, he may not have a lot of success as a children's entertainer, but he does have some success in TWO.
Had a real barn burner match with Dr. Michael Romano. Right there, they meet again. They cannot get out of each other's lives.
No, and Funtimestein was recently telling me that he actually wants Michael Romano's approval. We'll see if he's going to find a way to get that in this Fatal 4-Way.
Well, if you need someone's approval, you've got to talk to the Ultimate Manager. Just kidding, he approves of nothing.
Yeah, he really is withholding with that approval. He's told us that he's never given a fully positive performance review.
Not one time in his whole life, not his entire time here at TWO has he said a positive thing about anyone. Even that day that I wore a really nice, it was like a little shirt, got a little collar and like the buttons, but the buttons don't go all the way down. They're like you could play polo with them. Polo shirt.
I aspire to your level of class, Deuce.
Well, he didn't comment on the classiness or the just the put-togetherness of the fit.
Truly, he could have even, just given one of those innocuous comments, like, it's an improvement. He could have given you a backhanded compliment, but instead he just looked at you and snorted.
And it's a devastating snort. It could be the most devastating move we see tonight if he gets in a position to give someone the devastating snort.
Absolutely. Well, we've got these 4 wrestlers ready, and I know I'm ready.
Well, let's kick off the action then. Go! There they are. They're going.
They are. They immediately showed down into a 2-on-2. Alex Ryan Isaac trying to take out Funtimestein, and the manager said, rejected.
Well, the manager used to turning down both time off and pin attempts.
And it seems like he's already put quite a bruising on Dr. Michael Romano, who does not want to get up.
Well, Romano, now going right after Funtimestein with that figure 4. Funtimestein's in trouble early. You cannot get somebody if you cannot walk. That's what I always say.
Wow, that is brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Much better at the compliments than the Ultimate Manager. What a clothesline from behind. Absolutely disrespecting Alex Ryan Isaac was Funtimestein.
That's absolutely right. And he's getting out, giving himself a break, because that was too much. Pacing himself.
It was too much.
Hey, that would be a misspelling of 2, but I understand why you said it. Now, Deuce, we've got 4 wrestlers in here, pretty similar weight, pretty similar body type, and I gotta wonder what's gonna give one of them the upper hand.
Well, generally speaking, I would say that if one of them can put someone else's shoulders on the mat for 3 consecutive seconds of a count, they will get the victory in this match.
That's why I do the analysis and you do the announcing.
You bet your sweet ass.
Thanks for the compliment.
Hey, the way that it sits in that chair that you can't get out of, credit where it's due is all I'm saying.
I'm gonna put that one on my CV.
Speaking of due, Michael Romano with a huge power slam to Alex Ryan Isaac, as if he's due for a checkup.
Ooh, Michael Romano taking out the Ultimate Manager and Funtimestein. He's double booking.
He's getting after it now, but no, his cardiologist has a lot to say about that.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Just absolutely no time for a chair, not when you're a cardiologist. You can't sit down. He doesn't like being offered a seat, and he's gonna go for a pin. That's one. Just a one count there.
Pulled Funtimestein in and pulled him off of the Ultimate Manager. Something the Ultimate Manager probably appreciated.
Funtimestein with a big power slam of his own, and Michael Romano going after it again.
And just really having his way with Alex Ryan Isaac. If the other wrestlers don't keep a close eye on it, then Romano's going to just take this thing.
He's just absolutely destroying necks, because as we have established, he does not care about anyone's neck. He is strictly a cardiologist.
Necks have bones in them. Necks have skin in them. One thing they don't have is a heart.
I'll tell you who else doesn't have a heart. That is the Ultimate Manager.
No.
He could have just said, "Nice shirt." Didn't even have to mean it. Could have just looked at me and Deuce, looking good. Guy.
Devil's advocate here. You know, when he does say something nice, it's gonna feel so good.
I'm gonna win him over. Kick out at 0 thanks to some interference from Alex Ryan Isaac.
Ari, as I am wont to call him. Oh, baby!
Widow's peaked, Alex Ryan Isaac, though. The Ultimate Manager is going to go for it. Dr. Michael Romano, however, breaking it up.
And Funtimestein just kind of doing his own thing at the moment. He was trying to get the crowd involved, trying to get himself a little happier, you know, singing a song for the kids, and it didn't work.
Well, he's out in the outside now doing some light puppetry before he came in, and it did not he's back in the same position he was before, which is slightly groggy and missing.
Yeah, these guys are all looking a little tired. I wonder if they're feeling some fatigue from last week's Royal Rumble. Pancration. I've never for Royal Rumble.
Never heard of a thing called a Royal Rumble in my life. Now, pancration, that'll take it out of you.
I would have like a Royal Rumble maybe at Burger King. If that's like their, you know, maybe their ice cream dish.
Oh, they call it the chicken sandwich?
Yeah, chicken sandwich with ice cream.
Yeah, that's the one.
Funtimestein trying anything he can to get back into this match, so he's pulled out a table.
That's the old axiom. When in doubt, get a table and then just leave it in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, and hurt someone on top of it.
That is what they're there for. We put them under the ring so that people can be injured. We are running a professional sporting business. Speaking of injured, Dr. Michael Romano came down right on the corner of that thing. He's going to lose some blood, and he knows that the heart's pumping that blood right out.
Yeah, he's barely moving at this moment. It's troubling to look at, honestly. Oh!
There's a face right to the edge of that table. Who needs to put the legs up when you can just hurt people with the sharp metal bits?
I've always said, if you can hurt someone with sharp metal bits, then you're either a wrestler or a very, very angry construction worker.
A stand-up comedian that plays some sick-ass guitar on the side.
A drill salesman with a, axe to grind.
I'll tell you who's got an axe to grind, and that is... Oh, nope, never mind. It is... Introducing Ultimate Manager!
But that is the speed and the proximity of fighting in this Fatal 4-Way. You just can't hold an advantage for too long when you're up against so many equally talented wrestlers.
And weighted, as we pointed out. And what do you think of that strategy from Alex Ryan Isaac to keep Dr. Michael Romano from breaking up the pin, only to break it up himself?
He wanted to have that to himself. Now, Funtimestein just threw the Ultimate Manager into our referee!
He looks none the worse for wear. They're made of sterner stuff these days. And Funtimestein now, that's gonna jerk the knee right out of the knee.
And looks Ryan Isaac getting a running start to nowhere. I think that's a Talking Heads song.
I loved it. They opened up one time. Oh, there's a sleeper. This could be it. Dr. Michael Romano trying to find his way out of it, and he will be aided.
Oh, thank God. The Ultimate Manager takes it right to Funtimestein. Funtimestein really hasn't been able to get anything going.
Huge DDT onto that sharp metal bits. The Ultimate Manager is really cleaning house right now. Funtimestein doing what he can to stop it, and now he's cleaning house. Everybody's cleaning the house. There's not a spot in the house. You can eat off of any surface in the house.
This house has everything you need. It's even got a table and a shovel and a chair. It's basically Thanksgiving.
No, that is a low blow from Funtimestein. You gotta do what you gotta do, though. That's one, two, no!
Ooh, and that was actually his patented foot-face crotch grab.
Good old foot-face crotch grab. You put a patent on something like that because it's just a bunch of body parts in the grab.
Could put googly eyes on a blue sock and wear it and grab crotches. You want to collect royalties when that happens.
People are going to be doing that all over the nation, and I can't say that I approve.
Yeah, it's a copycat world we live in, Deuce. No one's got an original idea anymore, am I right?
You are correct. I can't say it any better than that.
The Ultimate Manager has an original idea. He sets up a ladder and then leaves it.
Well, that's Chekhov's ladder at this point, but it may not come into play because Dr. Michael Romano is setting up Rabbi Funtimestein. Huge flipping DDT. That could be it. But no, he's going for the chair. He is absolutely punishing Funtimestein now. What did he ever do to Dr. Michael Romano?
With a pen.
2, 3. That is it. With a brutal finish in the ring, while the other two are distracted outside the ring. Dr. Michael Romano, Cardiologist, is one step closer to becoming the inaugural TWO champion.
What a thrilling fatal four-way we had. Funtimestein, one of the crowd's favorites, tried to get something going, and his old rival, the Doctor, said, "Not today."
Well, you've always got to listen to your cardiologist, even when he says 1, 2, 3.
That Doctor, what a counter. What a bloody mess we've got. We'll have to get the interns out to clean that up before our next batch.
Interns, bring the mops.
Do you ever worry that what you're doing isn't good enough? Do you ever feel like you're not in control of your thoughts? Did you ever wonder what Shrek's dick looked like? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you're not alone. This is Dr. Johannes Funk, and he and his team are working effortlessly to find a cure for what ails you, and to figure out what Shrek's giant green penis looks like. Because I think we can all agree, if we solve these questions, the world's gonna look a whole lot brighter.
So I'm in the elevator and Jack gets in and I go, hey, and he goes, hey. So I go, Jack, you know your classic jumbo Jack that's named after you with the fresh lettuce and tomato we sell for just 99 cents? And he goes, yeah. And I go, wake up, you should
make it not shitty.
And he goes, what's your name? And I go,
Big Dick Idea Man.
And he goes, you're fired.
Big Dick Idea Man.
No.
Get your ass to Wendy's. Fuck Arby's.
Late last night, while working in the laboratory, my trusty assistant, Madame Marie Paris, brought to me a message from TWO management. Apparently, I'm to fight someone named Dr. Gene Mutation, who thinks that she's wise in the ways of DNA manipulation. Honey, I'm almost 1,000 years old, and I've learned quite a bit about experimentation in my day. In fact, Madame Marie Paris is the result of a mix between a cat and a rabbit. We got lucky with that one, but there have been many, many horrors resulting from trying to mix species. For instance, we've got ligers, we've got zonkies, and the most horrific of all hybrids, Mitch McConnell. As we all know, science is not an exact science, and you never know what kind of horrifying things you're going to end up with if you're not careful. So, Jean, honey, I'm gonna have to stop you right here, okay? It's time to face the music. Judgment Day has come.
Doctor, give me the news! I've got a bad case of 2 doctors in one match!
2 doctors, 2 doctors, right after a doctor won? What's happening here?
Well, everybody these days has to have an advanced degree in order to get into the wrestling business.
That's exactly right. Wrestling is filled with highly achieved medical practitioners.
And speaking of one of them, here's Dr. G Mutation.
This woman experiments in very, very unnatural ways on very, very natural things. She takes animals that shouldn't be together and makes them together.
She once gave me a dog that asked for an allowance.
She once gave me a mouse that just, took the biggest, we'll have to take this out, but a crap on my neighbor's lawn.
We'll just take that out in post, even if it's just Dr. Michael Romano's post.
Yeah, Dr. Gene Mutation, she also mixes humans and animals. She could be mixing spirits with animals, who even knows?
Well, whatever she's mixing up, she is looking to become the first TWO champion.
But she's gonna have to go through one of the biggest, baddest, and worst.
Hildegard von Bangin!
A nun who has lived since the 12th century, an achiever in science, religion, music, and kicking ass.
And also a possessor of at least one advanced degree during all of that time, which is why, of course, she is also a doctor. She's a nun doctor, a doctor nun, a composer doctor nun, a composer doctor scientist nun, a composer doctor scientist ghost, just very old nun. She likes the piano.
That you going through all that was music to my ears, but I am scared to. If Hildegard von Bangin was your college professor, would you ever show up to class, or would you avoid it the whole time?
I would be scared not to.
You would be scared not to. I would be scared too. Could you take notes for me?
I would love to take notes for you. I'll just slide them underneath your door on the way back to my room.
That's great, because in this hypothetical, I'm also strapped to a chair in my room, so I can't move.
You're gonna have to retrieve the notes. How are you? You know what? You're doing great there in that chair. Let me give you a little spin.
Woo! That was great! That was the most fun I've ever had with you.
That's damning with faint praise. We're off! It's Hildegard von Bangin! It's Dr. Gene Mutation! It's a chance to become the TWO World Champion!
Dr. Gene coming right in, flipping that nun over with her feet.
Really huge moves, just taking her right down on the back of her head, and now wants the crowd to clap along.
Many of them are doing it. I see 3.
That's 3 more than you think would applaud heinous neck injuries.
Done by someone who combines humans and animals in their science lab.
Well, she's paying the comeuppance for it now as Hildegard von Bangin goes to work on her knee. You can't combine a monkey with a gerbil if your knee hurts. That's what I always say.
You have been saying that for years, and it's never applied. Till right now!
Right this moment! That's why you say things for that long. Huge stomp from Gene Mutation to Hildegard von Bangin. Neither of these women wants to stay down for long enough to lose a match, and you know that's because they both want to win the match. Stunning analysis.
You understand psychology in a way I cannot.
Hildegard again, missing with the moonsault and landing on her feet, but also landing on a huge right hand from Dr. Gene Mutation.
And you can just see the sweat flying off her with each one of those smacks.
You can't see the sweat flying off of Hildegard von Bangin, though, because that habit is just there.
Yeah.
It's just soaking it all up. It's got to smell terrible at the end of a match.
I've heard that she is still wearing the same habit that she was gifted in the 12th century when she first became a nun.
Oh, that huge tope suicida right into the face of Dr. G Mutation. She probably got a big whiff of it, and that's why she's down on the outside.
Hildegard von Bangin coming right up to us as if to say, be more complimentary.
But, you know, as someone who has been starved for compliments lately myself, I can see that. I gotta tell you, those boots that Hildegard von Bangin wrestles in look like they are the deadliest thing to be kicked with I've ever seen. More huge right hands from Dr. G Mutation.
Yeah, Hildegard von Bangin, also that gold cross, it just burns the greatest singe into my eyes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like it would make vampires start smoking if they got too close to it because of their
I'm not a vampire. Why would you accuse me of being a vampire?
To a chair right now for reasons.
Yeah, a vampire wouldn't do that.
That's true. A werewolf would, to stop himself from becoming a werewolf. Wait, is there a full moon in Boston tonight?
Wow, you're accusing me of being a werewolf after accusing me of being a vampire. Deuce, you know, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you don't trust me.
That is exactly the kind of defensiveness a witch would use.
Wow. Wow! All right, I'm gonna make friends with somebody else. Someone who will defend my honor as a normal human.
There it is. That's the passive aggression of a poltergeist.
Deuce!
Famously passive-aggressive poltergeist.
At this point. Poltergeist also would not strap themselves to a chair, and Poltergeist also wouldn't know as much as I know about the technicalities of wrestling.
Well, you got me there. So you're probably, a Babadook?
Shut up. Shut your whore mouth.
Definitely a Babadook. Anyway, Dr. Hildegard von Bangin is taking Dr. G Mutation right to the railing, and now taking a little rest in the corner.
That's how she sustained herself for a full 1,000 years.
Well, she didn't have anybody shotgun drop kicking her in the chest when she tried it for 1,000 years, but she does tonight.
The Dr. G Mutation with the Hurricane Rana saying modern medicine, modern doctory is better than yours.
She is now in full control with a big spinning kick. Hildegard von Bangin's face has never hurt this much in all her 1,000 years. Big elbow! Could this be it? 1, 2.
Oh! My lord! Dr. Gene Mutation put everything she had into that sequence.
Absolutely beside herself, but there it is! That is the farm up state! We have 1, 2. Hildegard von Bangin is kicked out of the farm up state. I've never seen anyone do that in all of the episodes of TWO that we've recorded together, Carl.
Absolutely right. It's unheard of. She has some sort of unholy healing power.
So you're saying that you're using your Babadook senses to see the unholiness in someone else?
I am not a Babadook, but if I was, would you really want to mess with me?
I suppose that's true. Here, have a spin in the chair.
What was I upset about? I don't even know.
You were probably upset that Hildegard von Bangin is von Bangin Gene Mutation's head into the floor.
Absolutely not. I am thrilled this match has no quit in it.
It's amazing to see these two still upright after all the damage they've done to each other in what's really a relatively short amount of time.
What is time, Deuce? Is it real? Is time? Maybe these 1,000 years have just felt like a blink of an eye for Hildegard.
They say time flies when you're having fun. That is a huge elbow right into the back of the neck, and Hildegard von Bangin wants another shot. Is she going to get it?
She's calling on the Lord!
And she absolutely face plants! She was going for divine vision, but missed it by a mile. And now, Dr. G Mutation is up and on top.
Dr. Gene Mutation absolutely gained the upper hand after that embarrassing miss.
Do you think after 1,000 years, can you be embarrassed by a miss that big? Or do you just think back to a time that was more embarrassing that almost definitely happened in the last 1,000 years?
Well, I don't know myself, but I think the one to ask would be that Queef.
1, 2, and no, there's a kick out at 2 again. Cannot keep Hildegard von Bangin down.
And it looks like her kick counts are now coming earlier. She might be getting stronger. Woo! Flipping that doctor of modern science down, putting her heel on it, saying, screw your modern tricks. You know, are you a classicist or a modernist?
Well, I tend to be a Methodist, just based on where I go on Sundays.
Oh, you use the Deuce method.
You know what they say about the Deuce method? There's 2 of it.
You wily minx.
Huge edge-o-matic, but still not enough to keep Hildegard von Bangin down. Carl, what do you do at this point if you're Hildegard von Bangin and you have thrown the kitchen sink at another woman and she still refuses to go down?
I think you've got to do the one thing that you haven't been able to pull off yet. The Divine Vision!
That could be everything. She's slow getting over there. Doesn't trust that it was enough and now just raking at the eyes.
She is a vicious mauler. She is angry. This feels personal.
Well, when you've been beaten around like that, it always feels personal.
More trap.
There it is. This could be it. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, Hildegard von Bangin sustains all of that and comes out on top.
What a test of endurance that match was. Hildegard took everything the good Dr. Jean had to give her, and she gave it right back with the Divine Vision.
Just a beautiful, falling 1,000-year-old nun science lady coming from the heavens.
I couldn't be more thrilled. She is going to come into the next round of this tournament fired up. She's going to put more tools in her tools belt. You can't stop this nun.
Well, you can't stop the nuns, and you can't stop the action from rolling on as Two continues with Pantheon.
What can one say of the Scooby-Doo Gutta? I don't even know how much I can say for myself. I don't know what it is I seek to find, and I don't know why I have chosen these grounds to seek it. I'm not entirely sure what, when, how, or where I came to decide your universe as my plight for redemption, decency, resolution. But I do know this. Now that I am here, it is time for the world to know the story of the Scooby-Doo.
Danny Storms, the Scooby-Doo-Gooder, a grudge match for the ages. What do you say, Carl?
This is going to be a pretty complicated one. Our TWO weatherman, Danny Storms, has been experiencing an anomaly that he thinks is caused by the Scooby-Doo-Gooder.
Yeah, it's common to have people who both wrestle and cause weather anomalies in their wake. Who could forget the natural disasters, earthquake and typhoon? Who could forget Hurricane Helms? Who could forget, I don't know, Monsoon? Oh, Gorilla Monsoon. Yeah, there you go. See?
Every single one of them caused by a wrestler.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah, and there's nothing a weather analyst hates more than an anomaly.
That's true.
Predictability.
They want everything to be nice and 100% predictable because they get blamed when they're wrong.
That's absolutely right, and they are often wrong.
So wrong so many times. Speaking of wrong so many times, I have been wrong about the true identity of the Scooby-Doo-Gooder so many times.
And also, speaking of wrong, this guy hates when people do wrong. He wants them to do good.
Which is why he called himself the Scooby-Doo-Gooder instead of the Scooby-Doo-Wronger.
Oh, do you think?
Well, yeah, that's the kind of analysis you get from Carl Featherbottom and Deuce Silverado here on TWO.
Now, the Scooby-Doo-Gooder has perhaps the slowest entrance walk in the entire company. What do you think makes him walk so slow?
I think it's that if he moves too fast, he might give away his true identity. Anyone can walk this slow. It could be anybody. It could even be you, Carl. Is it you?
But I am strapped to a chair and you're looking at me.
I'm just saying, there's a very creepy air about the Scooby-Doo-Gooder. The kind of creepy air that you could say would follow a Babadook around.
Which you know I'm not. I've told you I'm not a Babadook, so you'll shut your damn mouth.
It's awfully defensive. Here, have it spin.
Oh, that's great. I'm feeling good. I want to do good. And this is the Scooby-Doo-Gooder.
So just tell the Scooby-Doo-Gooder that you want to do good. He'll probably give you some doing good things tips.
Hey, Scooby! Up here! Down here, I mean! I want to do good!
He's not looking at a single one of us. He is focused.
It's not even clear to me if he can hear through that mask.
Well, I can tell you what he can do through that mask, and that is grapple with Danny Storms and then walk him to the corner.
Oh, here goes an anomaly at work. Danny Storms, frustrated, angry, and unable to understand.
They're frustrated, angry, unable to understand. They're just getting tossed around. These are not wrestling moves. That was just being thrown onto the ground like some sort of rag doll. Clearly taking exception to it now. Huge disaster kick. This could be real quick.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are natural rivals. The Weatherman wants predictability. The Do-Gooder, he does not like to follow those rules. He thinks that the rules prevent him from doing all the good he wants to do. And so these two, there might be some real hatred at work.
Oil and vinegar, Babadooks and witches.
Deuce and Carl, what?
What? Deuce and Carl coming at you with the action.
That's right, we're a great team. You hear that, boss? We love each other.
On TWO.
Pantheon
is the name of the show. There we go. We got a cover. We got one. We got two. We got to kick out Danny Storms. Not done with this match yet.
Yeah, Danny Storm's not done researching, which is what he says he's using this match to do. Danny Storm's meteorological methods are not common in the industry.
Here's a huge butterfly power driver. That could be it for the Scooby-Doo-Gooder, except for he's getting right back up to his feet. What is? Do you think there's protective something in that mask?
There's something protective, there's something cosmic, there might be something that keeps the world from knowing.
No. And now a disrespectful throw of his own to the Scooby-Doo-Gooder. Remembering how this match started, and then another huge kick. This could be, Scooby-Doo-Gooder. Scooby-Doo getting out of the ring, and then I think he was about to reveal his identity.
It's probably what was going to happen. Danny Storm not achieving his goals by trying to achieve his wrestling goal.
When you've got two goals that are opposed to one another like that, Carl, which do you think should be superseding? Your wrestling goal or your big mystery goal?
Well, I've got to think, what's most important in the world? Is it knowledge, identity, or is it wrestling? Yeah, it's wrestling.
Couldn't have said it better for myself, even if I was a Babadook.
Which you are not, and if you were, you wouldn't be able to handle it, and you would shrivel away. Not saying that because I know what it's like to be a Babadook.
Not one bit!
Now, Danny, trying to fly around this ring, it seems like a storm, but he is grounded.
As the cooling effect of the Scooby-Doo gooder, metaphorically making the temperature in the ocean that is the wrestling ring cooler, so that Danny Storm cannot gain strength as a Category 2 grappler.
Sorry to interrupt you here, but we just missed a Danny Storm's patented cold front move.
Danny Storm's patented cold front cartwheel, and now he's up in that bear hug. The Scooby-Doo gooder squeezing all of the breath out of Danny Storms. How's he going to tell us what's going to happen?
Yeah, this is how he actually gets the bad out of evil people. He just squeezes it out like the charming bear.
Does that work? Can you expel evil with squeezes of a large proportion?
Well, I mean, the Scooby-Doo gooder does it, so I don't think the Scooby-Doo gooder would keep doing it if it didn't work.
Well, the Scooby-Doo gooder got that huge top rope assisted flatliner, and now it looks like Danny Storms is in charge of this match. Huge DDT. He is going to, one way or another, figure out what the anomaly is, whether it's who's behind the mask or whether the mask is making his Doppler radar less Dopplery.
Or is it those pants and the lightning in them? Is that charging him up and messing with the weather?
One! Nope, just one. It's a very good question. Could that be real lightning? I'm gonna guess no. The number of times that Danny Storms has not been electrocuted in this match seems to indicate that's just really good design for some wrestling trunks with the Scooby-Doo gooder.
Very, very interesting to see. Scooby-Doo gooder really had the upper hand for the majority of this match. It's going to be hard to see Danny Storms actually getting his conclusions today.
Danny Storms is now in that triangle choke.
Oh, this is the jolt of justice.
And that's enough. That is, the ref rang the bell. The Scooby-Doo gooder has won this match. Danny Storms tapping out before he can learn anything about his opponent.
Well, I've always said about a man in a suit, he's probably not a good wrestler. Unless it's the big boss man, who I am terrified of.
I'll tell you who I'm terrified of. That is like paranormal things of any kind. Your ghosts, your goblins, your babadooks, as it were. Just terrifying things in this world. Moving right along, there's the Scooby-Doo gooder in the middle of the ring. Could he be a terrifying specter?
And could he be the anomaly at the core of Danny's weather systems? We still don't know.
That sounds like romance novel talk.
Are you drinking on land, or are you drinking on Codzilla? Those little bitches on land wouldn't understand, but you do. Four Loko. It's for Codzilla. The only alcoholic beverage specifically designed for the high-octane thrill ride that is Codzilla. Four Loko is not for the park, and it's definitely not for some stupid yacht in Italy or whatever. It's only for high-speed aquatic adventures like the one and only Codzilla. Nothing says adrenaline-packed speedboat ride like fruit-flavored malt liquor. Four Loko. It's for Codzilla.
Number 10, what's your reason for breaking the hamburger habit at Arby's?
Wait, this is a fucking Arby's? Get your ass to Wendy's. Fuck Arby's.
The journey to the inaugural TWO World Champion continues as we get everybody's brother, Frankie Cruz, Auntie Santa, and of course, Uncle Kenny in four-way action.
Absolutely. These four are all some of the cream de la cream for TWO, and any one of them could come out victorious.
Any one of them except Frankie Cruz, who did not earn his way into this match, but I'm wearing a very nice polo that no one will acknowledge because of what he has donated to the cause.
That's absolutely right. He is true Nepo baby. He has not earned any of his bravado, and he's really, really terrible, but also his family helps fund our jobs.
So I'm gonna say one nice thing about Frankie Cruz sometime tonight.
Frankie Cruz sure does have a jacket.
Is that nice? Does that count?
I don't have a jacket.
Frankie Cruz is not tied to a chair because of his connections to Babadookery.
And neither am I.
Anybody could be strapped to a chair due to their connections to Babadookery.
Speaking of strapped to a chair, can you please unstrap me? This is the second time I'm asking.
I cannot. I am terrified of what you might be.
Your partner?
Well, no, I'm not terrified of you being my partner. Here's Uncle Kenny!
The childless dad of Titans Wrestling.
Look at how cool he is. He's got that cutting-edge technology strapped right to his face. I guarantee that he told like a hilarious, slightly off-color joke right before coming out here.
That's absolutely right. That color of his hair, not actually his natural color. That bathrobe he's wearing, not actually clean.
It's a running theme tonight between Dr. Romano's blood-covered jacket, Hildegard von Bangin's sweat-encrusted habit, and now 3 months worth of bath smells in Uncle Kenny's robe.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Deuce, but last time we saw Uncle Kenny, he had a full mouth of teeth, right?
That does seem correct.
The Royal Rumble. Pancration, I mean. I've never heard of a Royal Rumble again. That pancration really took its toll.
And here we go. This match is all about family because here's everybody's brother. But not Uncle Kenny's. Everybody but Uncle Kenny's.
That's absolutely. Maybe he's the dad if Uncle Kenny is the uncle, because then he'd be the brother of the uncle.
There's a real Full House situation we're developing here.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to watch the Uncle Kenny and Everybody's Brother sitcom.
Put it on the TV when the writers stop striking. In the meantime, we've got ourselves a match. Either of these two could be bringing their families back the inaugural TWO World Championship.
That would be great to see any of these. These are all guys you can root for, except Frankie Cruz.
I gotta say something nice about Frankie Cruz now.
He has shoes.
Yep, we'll see if that counts. We're gonna run it by the lawyers. And in the meantime, here is Anti-Claus.
The biggest boy in the entire promotion. He absolutely held it down for a good 2/3 of last week's pancration, which was not a Royal Rumble, a thing I've never heard of.
No, it was absolutely a pancration, and he was absolutely a beast in it, and he was absolutely doing that instead of getting packages ready for children across the world.
Yeah, no, if he were to give packages ready for children, they would be empty. Because he's not Santa Claus, he's Anti-Santa.
And of course, the Anti-Claus, only the second biggest dipshit in this match because Frankie Cruz is watching him ascend the ropes.
Literally being near Frankie Cruz makes me like Anti-Santa. That's all he had to do.
You might even say that you're pro-Santa.
I'm pro-Anti-Santa, which makes me neutral on Santa.
And I'm pro-TWO.
And I'm pro this match getting started.
Well, this match is going to get started in
a couple seconds.
There it was, the big dramatic point to the air. That is how we get things started, and we are going right to it. Frankie Cruz actually getting some offense in that was not paid for.
As far as we know.
That's true. Everybody's brother could be collecting milk money from Frankie Cruz. You never know.
Could you say one nice thing about Frankie Cruz?
I will say one nice thing about Frankie Cruz. Sometime tonight.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, got it. Anti-Santa doing his take your time move. It didn't work because Uncle Kenny, the coolest dude I know, took him down.
Uncle Kenny does not appreciate taking your time. Uncle Kenny lives life at full speed. And also gets DDT at full speed from everybody's brother, who drops a big jawbreaker on Anti-Claus, but then gets clotheslined by everybody's Uncle Kenny.
Everybody's uncle, who is Kenny.
He's not he's a very specific person's Uncle Kenny. Is this right? We're not all like figurative nephews, are we?
I would love to be. I don't have an uncle.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
No,
I've always wanted one.
Awful creature of the night, slipping around in people's walls, all babadooking all the time.
Yeah, it could turn me into something like that, maybe, but it didn't.
You've overcome so much. Those straps tight. Whee!
Oh, that one made me dizzy. Oh.
No, Frankie Cruz is gonna get dizzy, lazing about on top of the rope, showing absolute disrespect to everybody's brother. So probably not his.
An absolute disrespect to our eyeballs.
That America ass always just feels so unpatriotic.
Truly, he is the worst. But he is getting ready.
Big splash, that could be it.
And that was,
he's too busy celebrating. Uncle Kenny almost stole that pin right from him. That'd be classic Uncle Kenny. Uncle Kenny too.
Anti-Santa being anti-everybody right now, taking it to everybody's brother.
And there's a Santa bomb, and this could be it right here. 1, 2. Uncle Kenny coming in and making sure that this match continues because the nephews and the nieces not interested in seeing that sort of finish.
Wow! Frankie Cruz, real tough guy with a freaking hammer.
Yeah, this big sledgehammer still can't take down Anti-Claus. Still can't take down the pain in his back, and now getting choked down. That is just absolutely what is going on? 2. Frankie Cruz showing, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, a little bit of spunk kicking out of that from Uncle Kenny.
Yeah, this is pretty wild, Uncle Kenny, right here.
I said a nice thing. I said it's on the record.
You got one in. You hear that, Mr. and Mrs. Cruz?
And Anti-Claus. Oh, what the
he spit rust in his face.
Just absolute horror. And now 1. Thank goodness for Uncle Kenny. We cannot let this jerk face advance in the tournament. I am sorry for that strong language, Carl.
Uh-oh, Uncle Kenny got ready and he came back down.
Well, speaking of going down, there went Frankie Cruz. Anti-Claus now starting to lay out some power moves, but no. Everybody's brother sneaking up that cover. 1, 2, 3. He just absolutely stole this match. Everybody's brother, like so many of his brother's birthrights, stolen.
Came in with the atomic noogie and couldn't have come at a better time. Frankie Cruz had expended his little bit of energy on that spit out of rust and was primed to be taken out.
Well, Frankie Cruz inhaling a little bit too much racing car nonsense and not enough wrestling knowledge, but everybody's brother is advancing to become the inaugural World Champion.
What a real rootable story. These fans, they needed something to feel good about. Oh! Everybody's brother. Oh no, he's gonna be just fine.
Everybody's brother is going into the next round, and everybody's calling Mom about it.
Oh, I would love to remember my mom's number.
Tuber the Couch Potato taking on the Killer Queef, and we will learn tonight, Can a potato feel shame?
We absolutely will. The Killer Queef, perfectly designed to bring shame out of every opponent, but Tuber, just happy to literally exist, has no shame.
No shame at all. Tuber's just excitement. Tuber's. Oh, look at Tuber. He's so excited to be here. Just waving, having a good time.
Tuber makes me feel so good inside. I just want to give her a hug. I also want to give you a hug, and I could if you just lose even one of these straps, and I could give you a side hug.
I feel like you've got very long arms anyway, so I think we're probably okay.
You see that I can barely even move a hand. I'm tied down so tightly. I could definitely not reach you until I'm loosened up. Tuber would undo these bonds.
Well, Tuber knows no shame and Tuber knows no fear. I know plenty of both.
Ooh, you've had an encounter with the Killer Queef, haven't you?
I ran into the Killer Queef at catering last week and spent the next 3 days crying.
Oh, that sounds great. Catering. I haven't been able to find that table.
It's just over in the back. I could wheel you over there after the show. Here comes the Killer Queef.
Ooh, Killer Queef. Once again, for those who don't remember, an actual Queef who came out during a Tinder hookup in Los Angeles, then became sentient, formulated into the body of this human we see before us, tried to make it on Broadway, but was filled with people who already had too much shame, and so she found her way to this wrestling organization to try and bring shame out of our shameless bunch of wrestlers.
No one's got an ego like a wrestler, that's what they say, and they also say that we are here looking to crown a new champion, an inaugural TWO champion. We've seen some advance, we've seen some not. Who do you think the favorite is right at this moment, Carl?
I gotta go with the tube. That tuber is not gonna feel a moment of shame tonight.
Not a bit. And Tuber now, not feeling shame, but definitely feeling those. No! Tuber with a big over-the-top reversal, side suplex, just keeping on top of this Queef. That's the way you do it. You just smother him until you can't notice.
That's exactly right. That potato, it just kind of waits for its moments. It doesn't force them. That's what you saw with that reversal. Look at this potato. It can't be caught.
A huge German suplex for 1, 2, and this was almost over quickly. The Queef doesn't look like she could get Tuber over in that German suplex that easily, but we really don't know how strong a Queef can be until you're right there next to one, as she just went flying over the top rope.
Yeah, this Queef has an unstoppable motor, and as much as I do love the tuber, as much as these fans do, it's tough for me to deny these opening sequences. The Queef is gonna be tough.
Very tough, very agile, and it's hard to pin that down because you just don't know what this corporal form of a Killer Queef can and cannot do until you see it.
Sorry, Deuce, I'm getting a little upset. Queef is trying to put Tuber in the corner, and that is just too far. Nobody puts a potato in the corner.
Well, you can try it. The Tuber's coming right back out, trying to corner Tuber with shame, perhaps. But Tuber just running right back out, as enthusiastic as ever.
There we go. Give her the spud! Beautiful move from the Tuber.
Now a huge Hurricane Rana. Tuber also surprisingly agile. We are going to get this out there. A huge clothesline now. Tuber on top of this. We are going to get ourselves an advancement. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in your strapped down chair.
It would be the most exciting thing of the night for me if this potato advanced. This is the most agile route to be fighting above the ground that I've ever seen.
No. Killer Queef fighting her way out of danger, and now a huge DDT. That is going to give her some time.
Yeah, and it looks like she's trying to get the shame spiral.
Just a big splash and a big miss. Can the Queef that wants others to feel shame, could she feel shame for having missed that big splash?
I have no idea what you said because I was just lulled into the happiest moment of my life watching that potato dance.
There we go, we got one. What happens to like evil spirits when they encounter Tuber, do you think? Just like, does this feeling of ease, like, would it, say, like a zombie ran into the arena, would like the presence of Tuber soothe it into humanness? Would like a vampire stop drinking blood? Would, say, a Babadook be able to be unchained? Whoa, what a huge crossbody from the top!
Oh, that would be, if there was a Babadook here, which we no, there isn't. The Tuber could probably take all the evil out of it.
What a heartwarming and almost safe thought. Tuber, could you just get a little closer? Tuber can't hear me. Tuber is right now just getting potato handled on the outside.
Tuber is, she doesn't have ears, she only has eyes.
Tuber's taking over that leg lock, and now, just more damage to the leg. Can you hurt a potato's leg? There's a lot of it. I've got a lot of anatomical questions about a queef and a potato and where the pain centers are.
But the thing about Tuber you have to realize, Deuce, Tuber takes away your questions. Tuber brings a feeling of peace to you.
Tuber also kicking out at 2.
Yeah, Tuber is making me relax, Deuce. You don't even need to spin me anymore.
I'm just gonna...
You don't even need to strap me. I am fine where I am.
Oh, well, I was gonna go and just loosen the straps a little bit, but if you're fine, there's one! And just one! You can't keep a good queef down, or a killer one.
Tuber getting a little excited about having put Queef on the ground, and I won't knock the Tuber for being excited. I love that thing.
Now Tuber getting a little violent and then just taking a big nap.
Ooh, mashing that potato with a nap, baby.
And now just huge ham fists from a potato. That's not something that you would expect. And now just taunting. The Tuber is taunting the Queef.
I think Tuber is just trying to put a little positivity in there with that joyful kiss.
Tuber is in a huge potato cannonball.
And this could do it.
1, 2, and no! That does not spend time right back on the offense. Big clothesline. This not falling into, but missing with that moonsault. Standing moonsault attempt dodged by the Queef, and now
this is worrisome. You miss a move like that, I don't care whether you're a root vegetable or an above ground vegetable, you're gonna have a tough time recovering.
Tuber now fighting back to their feet. Huge chops and then a big single leg drop kick. Tuber following the Queef right to the outside, not giving her a moment. I think this is what you have to do against an opponent like this. Just stay on her.
Yeah. Tuber is learning wrestling as they go. Tuber really does not prep at all, so sometimes that whole first half of a match is a learning process for it.
Yeah, that's right. Tuber the couch potato coming into every match half-baked, but the killer Queef, missing with that rear view. Everybody missed everything. Who's got the advantage?
Next week on UPN. A sequel to Everybody Loves Raymond.
Ew.
The killer Queef jumping over the ropes, then thinking differently of it.
Perfect now, just disrespectfully slamming what I assume is the head of Tuber into the mat, and now making a whole audience feel bad about themselves.
Boo that Queef. It's hurting our beloved potato.
She was just reminding the entire city of Boston that Kimball Walker came to play in their town and didn't do a thing. That's a huge crossbody standing from the top.
Landing from the top rope. That's not a frequently completed move in TWO.
And now just absolutely driving her knees into the center and potatoey goodness of Tuber.
That's the softest part of the potato.
And now putting Tuber in the corner again, just mashing
Scalloping, roasting, baking, frying, julienning. She's given this potato everything she can.
And now just waiting in the ring to win by a countout as Tuber may have had it.
Come on, Tuber. Tuber, put in that effort. Come on, Tuber. Tuber, get there. Tuber, you can do this. Tuber. Oh, this is not what we want. Get in there. Yeah!
The Queef throwing a tantrum in the corner as Tuber makes it back into the ring.
Well, Queef, you could have done something to knock her out a little harder. That's a poor crafts, Queef, that blames its count.
Truer words never spoken. And now setting up another huge DDT. I don't know how much more. No, Tuber got the best of that exchange somehow too. But no.
A great attempt, Tuber, but you're going to have to take the wind out of that Queef a little quicker, if you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying. And Tuber is ascending to the top rope. You will believe a potato can fly! No, you won't.
You can believe a potato will think better of that line.
There it was! That was the shade spiral. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, the killer Queef advances, and Tuber once again underprepared.
I feel ashamed right now. I'm just thinking about all the times that I tried to hook up with Jessica Harvey back in the 7th grade, and she denied me under the football stands. Sorry, did I say any of that out loud?
You got her 2 of the football stands, but then didn't.
Here is your winner.
Underneath the football stands?
We were gonna get to first base. It was gonna be so great.
So you were taking her to a shadowy location.
No, I see where you're going here, but I'm a little looser in these things, and you're not going to get me down.
I would never try.
How does this ascent compare to, say, taking the escalator?
The stakes are steeper than the climb.
Casual commuters think, stairs, what's the big deal? The serious ones don't even look at the stairs.
Every day I take the T to and from work. And every day I look at those stairs and think, whoa, that's fucking scary. I'll never be able to live with myself if I don't try it. Even if the escalator isn't out of order.
You have a life now to think about. You have a girlfriend.
Yeah, she's pretty rad. Makes my life wicked nice now.
It's really difficult for me to watch him do this. The danger of it keeps me up at night. But if he doesn't climb those stairs, I don't want to be the reason why he lives with regret for the rest of his life. What if something happens? I just can't take it.
Not sure how I feel about filming him climbing the steps, especially if something goes wrong.
Maybe you don't have to, do this. Think about us, maybe.
Yeah. I see what you mean, but climbers gotta climb. Once you push the edge, eventually, you find that edge.
Is it on? Is it on? I can't tell. Where's the light? There it is. There it is. Oh, hello, soldiers. Hello, soldiers. Hello. Good day to you. General Doug, I'm here to remind you to eat your vegetables and do your push-ups, 1, 2, and 3, before reporting to duty. You, TWO, I am proud again to be involved in a fracas with the lowest of the low of TWO so that I can show them my military might and bring them into the fold that is General Doug's army. We will grow one mind and soldier at a time, and we will take over TWO with precision.
The fatal four-ways continue as we see Amnezia Zteve, we see General Doug, we see Bugs Flatwhite, and we see some side of Paul R. Opposite.
These four men, each used to be, there were tag team partners abound across here, but none of them seem to like each other tonight.
Well, you can't team with Paul R. Opposite too long, because if you become too much like Paul R. Opposite, then he becomes too much unlike Paul R. Opposite, and that just gets confusing.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it's hard to keep a long-term relationship with Amnezia Zteve because he forgets who you are.
Now, and Amnezia Zteve really wanted Bugs Flatwhite to use that detective skill to find out who he was. What did he have for breakfast this morning?
Yeah, who knows? He doesn't, and I wasn't there. Because I was strapped to this chair.
And for my own protection.
It was originally because I was just excited. I love wrestling. Deuce, lighten up. Let me out.
That's let me out?
Let me out.
It just seems like a command that's something, I don't know. Something, you strike me as particularly Babadookie tonight, Carl.
Please let me out.
Oh, well, if you said please, then I guess I just... Oh, here comes Bugs Flatwhite, and I have forgotten what I was about to do, because I have got to announce the entrance of Bugs Flatwhite. Still has not found his shirt.
Has not found his shirt, too busy finding clues. This hard-boiled detective can figure out any mystery going on in the men's, women's, or any division of TWO.
Except for he has not figured out who Amnezia Zteve was, and he does not know the identity of the Scooby-Doo gooder. And he is also not quite sure who in the arena is or is not a Babadook.
I think we know that there is one person who is not a Babadook, and it's me. I think that's the only one we know for sure because I've repeatedly said it.
Just spoken like someone who may be harboring some deep secret. I'm just gonna talk to Bugs when he comes by. Just see if he can get see what his sniffer of crimes and misdemeanors and general things that you don't want other people knowing about since it's here.
You challenge his credentials, then you say you're gonna tap into them. Who even are you, Deuce? You're not a gentleman, and neither is General Doug.
General Doug has been out at the high seas, up to all kinds of evil, and you don't need a detective to know that!
I definitely don't. I don't want to know a whole lot about this guy. I don't want to know what island or ocean nation he commands. I don't want to know what made his eye machine green, and I don't want to know what he sustains himself on during those many months of sea.
You remember there was this movie with Kevin Costner and they drank the pea water, but only after it went through a special filter. There was 5 hours of that movie, and that's the one takeaway that I had.
There was a guy with a back tattoo of a map.
I thought that was National Treasure.
Oh, maybe they're in the same universe.
Oh!
That's exciting. I love a continuous universe, and I also love a multiverse, but I don't like when they cross over. Just like I don't like that not gentleman, General Doug.
What an ungentlemanly general he is. And look at him, that weirdo thing on his eyes. That's not anything for There's Paul our opposite, who as he approaches General Doug will become more gentlemanly right before our eyes.
Yeah, Paul R. Opposite will have 3 competitors tonight to turn into the opposite of. Many of us couldn't take turning into the opposite of one person, but this guy clearly not affected by his frequent brain and identity changes.
What makes someone unaffected by changing that much, do you think?
I think you just have to keep the same expression at all times.
He does seem unmoving, even as he is quickly going between the opposite of a hard-boiled detective, the opposite of an ungentlemanly general, and the opposite of someone who doesn't know who he is. That's right, Paul our opposite, the closer he gets to Amnesia Steve, has more clarity in who he is than anyone.
And it all adds up to a whole lot of wrestling, a whole lot of pain, and one coming out to advance in the tournament.
That's right, wrestling, pain, advancing, tournaments. These are all watchwords here on Pantheon, presented by
And Snickers.
And Snickers. Are you hungry for some nuts and chocolate and caramel and unidentified substance that we've all just agreed to call nougat? Eat a Snickers.
You know, in these divisive times, I'm glad we all agreed to call that thing nougat.
And I'll tell you who's not glad, and that is General Doug, who is getting absolutely kicked the crap out of by Amnesia Steve. Yeah. And then side effect there from the bugs. We're all over the action tonight.
Everything's happening, and it's hard for me to keep straight. You know, it makes me a little sad, it makes me a little angry, it makes me want to deny what's happening in front of me. It makes me want to bargain, but ultimately it makes me want to accept.
That's incredible that you went through all of that quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Were I a Babadook, I would be the embodiment of grief, and I would need to get to acceptance to be free.
Is that how that works? You seem to know an awful lot about Babadooking, just like General Doug seems to know an awful lot about that suplex.
Deuce.
And Amnesia Steve doesn't know whether that's a baseball bat or not, but I can tell you it is, and I can also tell you he's not holding on to it anymore.
Deuce.
Yes,
I need to tell you something.
Yes.
Earlier today, I turned into a Babadook.
This may come as a shock to you, but I had a sneaking suspicion that you may have become a Babadook or some such creature earlier today.
I know that you had suspicions, but I thought I denied them and rebuked them thoroughly.
Well, much like Mug's Flatwhite, it's hard to get one over on old Deuce Silverado, and it's hard for General Doug to get the dents that were just put in his skull by the TWO shovel out of there.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Also exciting is my acceptance of the fact that I became a Babadook today, which I have just realized is all I needed to do to start to become released from it.
I can see the evil leaving your body right now, Carl, and I've got to tell you, I'm relieved.
Oh. Deuce. Deuce, I feel so good. I feel so good. Whee! Look at me spinning myself.
Self-spinning, and speaking of spinning, there's Amnesia Steve absolutely knowing exactly who he is as he mounts Amnesia Steve.
What? I feel a little bit like Amnesia Steve because I think I forgot there was a wrestling match for a minute.
Well, that can happen to you as the Babadookiness leaves your body. Swing and a miss! And I tell you, there were a lot of attempted weapon swings, and now Amnesia Steve
Picking it up, putting it down, says Polar Opposite. I can't even agree with myself.
Polar Opposite, of course, when he was further away from Amnesia Steve, was the kind of person who would use a bat. But as he got closer, he became not the kind of person who would use a bat. So now we know definitively one thing about Amnesia Steve, and that's that he would use a bat.
Or he wouldn't. Oh, no, you're right. He would. He wouldn't use a hammer.
He would not use a sledgehammer, but he would use a suplex to escape that hammering that he was taking from Polar Opposite. And now, once again, Gentleman Doug getting absolutely brained by that shovel. That shovel has figured into the most horrific violence 2 weeks in a row here on Pantheon, presented by Two.
That's absolutely right. And last week on Two's Pantheon, there was a backstage brawl. For those of you, I don't think anyone missed it, but if you did, Den the Willing spent 35 minutes continuously hitting documentarian Werner Herzog with that shovel. His blood and DNA is still on it.
That shovel now covered in Werner Herzog DNA and also General Doug's head. Don't know why
which I guess has like ocean DNA in it.
And now it's the compass! He's got the compass locked in!
And the compass was going wild. It was like there was a magnet under it. That's how science works.
Polar Opposite, apparently, so polar magnetic that he's making the compass spin.
By the way, Deuce, I do have an honest question.
I've got an honest answer. 1, 2, no! General Doug cannot get the job done just yet.
All right, back to what I needed to know. It's about magnets.
Yes.
How do they work?
You know what? You should probably. Oh my God! Polar Opposite just brained Amnesia Steve into that chair. What you should do, I have no idea. But let's get Polar Opposite next to the table. If Polar Opposite is next to me, then he would become someone who knew exactly how magnets worked.
Well, Polar Opposite might know, but he might not know. I'm just gonna assume it's a combination of magic and miracles, just like TWO.
We are a combination of magic and miracles. You're the magic, I'm the miracle, and General Doug is trying to get a Boston Crab. He's got it over in the Boston Crowd. Not sure how to feel about General Doug doing their signature move.
Yeah, General Doug doing some crabbing. He's gonna have to roast and boil that crab before we can eat it.
And just getting his face driven into a bat by Amnesia Steve. General Doug's, his head has got to be warped after all of the savage injuries that he has taken. And he is still just flying around this ring right up until Polar Opposite jammed that sledgehammer into his side, that is.
Yeah, but as someone who's been at sea for so long and clearly been worked on by scientists of the nautical and landlocked variety, I wonder if General Doug's head can kind of just change shape. It's not a big deal. What about his junk?
This is a baseball bat into the crotchal region, and he is still, he's a little worse for wear.
All of these wrestlers are definitely worse for wear. This Fatal 4-Way has barely been going, and they are all bloodied and battered.
And there we go. Polar Opposite trying to pick his moment, and he's going after Amnesia Steve almost as if two people who don't know who they are really don't like each other.
That would be ridiculous. Oh my God, I think he just slammed Muggs Flatwhite's head onto the head of a sledgehammer.
That is just so many head injuries. Dr. Michael Romano is a cardiologist. I should remind everyone, he will not treat head trauma.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of amazing that in all the history of TWO, with all of the head bashing that goes on, we've never, ever had an issue with head injuries.
Not one time. Even Werner Herzog being thrown from a high point into a spotlight, seemingly dying, came back and had a hell of a showing at Pain Creation, which is not a Royal Rumble.
That's right, which is also something we don't know about.
I don't even know why I mentioned that it wasn't one.
Right. Wasn't what?
Exactly. Wasn't a Babadook like you're not anymore.
Yay! Wait a second, it's time for another one.
In the meantime, this action is all over the arena floor. People getting thrown into walls, people falling onto weapons, and that bloody shovel is coming back into play. What's Amnesia Steve got on his mind? Not even he knows. Well, he dropped the shovel.
He knew he was gonna drop it. And he's throwing Doug back into the ring. Maybe someone's gonna get a pin in here soon. Because I don't know how much more of this any of these guys can take.
I think Bugs Flatwhite may have put Amnesia Steve right back up. Now General Doug going back for that Boston Crab. He has been on the high seas for so long that all he can think of is seafood.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I gorged myself on lobster just a few minutes before I became a Babadook at lunch earlier today.
Is the lobster turn you into a Babadook?
I think so. I think I might have gotten some bad lobster.
Yeah, market prices can drive anyone to evil. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Oh, speaking of me not being evil anymore, could you please unstrap me?
Yeah, I'll just reach over and, oh, look at this! Just getting driven is Amnesia Steve by, Polar Opposite, and now missing with the chair and catching a punch from Amnesia Steve!
Amnesia Steve! Flipping everybody like a banana peel!
Amnesia Steve does not know who he is, but he knows how to kick ass here!
And Polar Opposite saw Amnesia Steve stop for a second, which is why he started!
That's the only explanation for someone who becomes the polar opposite of anyone he's near. Oh man, he is grabbing that junk in a way that Bugs Flatwhite definitely would not if he received at a reverse atomic drop.
So do you think if Polar Opposite came near me now, he would turn into a Babadook since I'm not one?
It's almost certain, right?
Yeah. Good thing he's not coming near me.
Good thing I can't have another Babadook tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, old Deuce and his one Babadook per night quota / maximum. You have to have one Babadook per night, but you will not suffer through more than one.
That is correct. And I'll tell you what else is correct. There is just more action on the outside. The inside of the ring, absolutely getting no love. Our referee just bored out of his mind, standing so still, so stoically, just waiting for someone to do something that he can count. It's the only rule there is counting in submissions. All this other stuff, sledgehammers, bloody shovels, tables, a backbreaker that cuts your head open somehow, all of this perfectly legal.
That's absolutely right. The Fatal 4-Way truly could end up becoming fatal because of that clear lack of rules. But there probably won't be a head injury.
Huge flip from Polar Opposite. Does he advance? 1, 2.
Amnesia Steve remembered that he doesn't like losing.
I gotta ask you, because I saw General Doug on the outside celebrating Polar Opposite as he went for that pin. Are they in cahoots? And could you be in cahoots with someone who changes depending on who's closest to him? I feel like that's a very hard cahoot. That's another huge spinning flip.
To answer your question, I think it had to have been a long con, because that General Doug is not a gentleman. He is dastardly. He is bad to the bone. And if he's cheering for someone, he probably means he hates them.
Well, I would say this. If he is that bad and he is that dastardly, then Polar Opposite, when he's around him, just...
That was like a high school playground high-low there from Bugs Flatwhite.
Just taking knees out everywhere. No one's going to be able to walk in the morning except for Muggs, and that's how he's going to solve the case of who won the match.
Oh, that's the loose cannon. I forgot about that signature move. How could I have?
Well, I guess if we're close enough to Amnesia Steve and Polar Opposite in their constant changing states. 1, 2,
Oh, Amnesia Steve about to get the hearts of the crowd on fire if he can pull this off. They love him.
That's a huge right. And now
you just see Muggs Flatwhite literally smash a sledgehammer into the face of General Doug. Good thing he cannot and will not suffer a chronic head injury.
We got a 1. We've got a 2. No, just finally broken up by General Doug.
Kicked it like a soccer ball. Uh-oh. Is he setting it up? Is it the bullshit bomber?
It is, and that is going to take out the shoulder. And this could be the end if he can follow up. He's got a drop kick, but Amnesia Steve stirring a little bit as...
The General wants one more.
High seas!
And he's coming through, but played around with his food, his seafood too long, and Muggs Flatwhite got back in.
Muggs Flatwhite with it, not sure who to try to pin. He's going to pick the General. 1, 2. Wrong choice.
Oh, the General kicking out. He is a tiny General, but he is hardy.
And so Muggs went for the General, so Paul R. Opposite doing the exact opposite of that and going after Amnesia Steve.
Paul R. Opposite is consistent in his inconsistency.
But he is in trouble now as Muggs Flatwhite. Lighting him up. This could be it. Just kick the knee right out from him. This General Doug, however, able to telepathically bring that pin up.
Whoa, and a big backward slam.
Huge elbows. General, it's hard to say who's got an advantage. Carl, who do you think is on top right now?
I have to say that I was about to say the General, and then he got done up with a move. Whoa! But I'm seeing something in that leather-bound sea captain that is just making me a believer right now.
So you're saying that you believe in General Doug?
For a very, very brief moment that I will never, ever come back to.
Well, I believe that Amnesia Steve's lower back is going to be hurting after those successive blows from the bat from Muggs Flatwhite.
Just see General Doug just reverse that. Muggs flew him into the ropes and it didn't matter.
There's 1. There's 2. The General kicking out, though.
Ooh, our ref trying to get home tonight. He was trying to block Muggs from breaking it up.
Now just pounding. Paul R. Opposite. And now they are going right at it. There it is. Huge arm drag from Amnesia Steve, just like I told you we were going to see. And now just laying into the face of Muggs Flatwhite with that sledgehammer. Going to the top. This could be for everything. Huge stomp. But the General waiting there with the steel chair.
Every one of these wrestlers gets an advantage, and every time someone else has a solution to stop them. General Doug right now in a position, though, taking that chair to Muggs Flatwhite saying, I want to finish this.
But he can't because Paul R. Opposite is the opposite of someone who wants him to finish that. Someone who, in fact, does not.
Paul R. Opposite now with sole control in the ring. Amnesia Steve says, I won't let that happen, and stops it before a 1 count.
Yeah, do you think Amnesia Steve knew that he wouldn't let that happen, or did he just sense that he wouldn't have let that happen if he was who he thinks he is?
I'm gonna go with option 2 because I heard it second.
Recency bias is real, folks, and so is TWO.
TWO is very real. Pantheon is very real. The tournament that is going to determine our first league champion is super real. And any of these sweaty, bloody wrestlers could take it.
Right now, Paul R. Opposite just laying those huge blows in. I don't know how much more this Muggs is going to be able to take, even though he's taken several shots from steel chairs, bats, shovels, but those big right hands were going to be... And gentlemen, General Doug, now with a little noogie.
Ooh, soaking in that hatred from these landgoers.
There's a huge kick.
Oh, and that is the pineapple surprise.
1, 2... No! Pineapple surprise, not enough to keep her down. Paul R. Opposite, who was unsurprised, because that's the opposite of being surprised, I suppose.
So he's like kind of nonplussed.
Yeah, just unfazed. Half and half suplex from General Doug, though, but just eating a huge Luthez press now. No one can keep control of this match. I can't keep track of the action, and you're tied down to a chair.
I don't have to stay that way.
You're right. I can just go right over there and untie you at any time.
I'm starting to feel like you don't want to untie me, and it's starting to feel personal. For a while, I understood it because I had the evil of the Babadook inside me. But that's gone after I went through the 5 stages of grief.
I'm having a hard time. So when you were evil, you could not relate. You could relate, but now that you're good again, you have no empathy for my fear.
All right, that's a good point. It's fine.
Here,
your feelings are valid. But Deuce, it's okay. We've got wrestling.
We have wrestling, except it's all back on the floor, and it's just evolved into a brawl once again. And but General Doug almost tried to kill Amnesia Steve. If he had had him just a little bit further back, Amnesia Steve's body would have gone to the floor, but his head would have stayed on the top of those ring steps.
That's absolutely right, and I'm starting to think that General Doug, though he may have the moves and the hardiness that it takes to win tonight, he seems a little too into hamming it up for the crowd to capitalize on his advantages.
We're a young season here at TWO, here in TWO, and he's just trying to let this crowd know that he is an evil sea captain, and not at all a gentleman.
Fair enough. You do have to let him know. Here it comes. Oh, baby! That was the one of his other moves.
Oh, that's one of those big ones with that when the other move.
Yep. And these 4 wrestlers seem to have agreed on one thing. They want to make life difficult for our camera person.
They want to make life difficult for our camera person, and somewhere in the ring, we've got a referee absolutely bored out of his mind. All he wants is to go home to his family. He's got a wife, he's got some kids that he wants to tuck in, and these guys are just beating each other senseless on the outside of the ring. Nothing for him to do except for thinking about all the family memories that are being made in his absence.
Yeah, he's thinking about his kid Junior playing with that new wooden horse that he got him. He's thinking about his rambunctious teenager, Aloysius, yelling at mom and turning on the TV. Yeah, all those joyful memories.
Big spear! It's hard to tell from way over there.
You saw that?
We were way up with the camera crew for a moment, but we were zooming back in, and that's Amnesia Steve getting thrown back in. But Gentleman Doug with a poison rana! General Doug, who is...
Yeah, General Doug. And hats off to this amazing TWO Pantheon camera crew. They are getting everything asked of them tonight, and they are saying, yes, we can.
We are prohibited from looking up and seeing the action live. We have to watch it through the monitors. As once again, a huge spear from Paul R. Opposite, who was close enough to General Doug, who likes to use small blow darts.
That's right. He only does the opposite, and so everyone else was standing, so he fell. But now General Doug fell, so he stood.
That is the complexity of Paul R. Opposite. You never know who he's going to be from week to week, and you never know how much action you're going to get at Pantheon, presented by TWO.
And Snickers.
Remember that catchphrase that I had last time about the ingredients of a Snickers? Remember it.
Well, I know who won't remember it. It's Amnezia Steve.
But he is going to remember this huge suplex.
Baby!
But he's also going to remember that foot to his face from the General, who now has the bloody shovel and just going to work now. No! I think Paul R. Opposite, sensing the murderous intent from the General, saved the life of Amnesia Steve, which is, of course, the opposite of that.
Muggs Flatwhite wants to know what's under that goggle. Muggs Flatwhite will not let go. He's going to tear it off.
He is a hard-boiled detective who wants answers.
And General Doug says, I'm gonna hit you into this step ladder staircase thing. It's not a ladder. And touch my butt.
Polar opposite for the cover. 1 and no.
I think General Doug just teleported across the ring to stop that.
Just an amazingly cat-like maneuver from General Doug, who is now taking...
really impressive, since cats don't go in the ocean.
I think that's just a stereotype.
Wait, they do?
Yeah, like catfish.
No, you think catfish are cats?
Why wouldn't they be? It's right there in the name.
Deuce, they're fish. They just have whiskers like a cat. It's very different.
Dude, stop! Is this enough to win it for Amnezia Zteve?
Could be.
No, General Doug does not want that official to go home to his family, and now wringing the face off of Amnezia Zteve.
That would be really troubling. Amnezia Zteve would never remember who he is if he lost his face.
That is true.
Mugs Flatwhite would never remember how to hit somebody if he had a head injury. Thank God that didn't happen.
But he did fully miss Polar Opposite, who did the opposite of what he was wanted to do, which was to stay down for Mugs to hit that axe handle.
Uh-oh.
High seas!
Ooh, and that's not gonna make Amnezia Zteve remember anything any better.
The General warming up the band.
Pineapple surprise!
We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3!
General Doug pulls it out! His unknown nation of supporters is thrilled!
Mugs Flatwhite about to break up the pin, but Polar Opposite became the opposite of someone who wanted to break up the pin and clipped him from behind to preserve the victory for the General Doug.
Wild that Polar Opposite and General Doug supposedly fuming, and Polar Opposite assists the General's win.
Well, Polar Opposite, the opposite of someone feuding with a general. That's what I would say. I would also say that you can catch TWO on the night that you're seeing it every week.
Tuesday.
Join us next week, Tuesday night, September 26th, right here for 3 more quarterfinal matches, 2 more quarterfinal matches, and the big boss versus 4 question marks. I'm Deuce Silverado on behalf of the wrestlers, the management, and the furniture of TWO, reminding you to stick around for next week.
Love you.
I'm just gonna untie you now.
Thanks.
I talked with Ryan and Dave, and a couple people asked for us to